Well, hey there, and welcome to another lesson in the church video series. If you don't know, this is a series of video training that sole purpose is to teach you and train you how to make videos for your own church. And today we are talking about a very, very important issue and concept. It's called shooting handheld, so let's get into it. If you've been tracking with us so far, you know that we've been talking about a lot of boring stuff, covering the basics. Very necessary, but not the most exciting stuff. But today we are shifting the series in a new direction, and we begin with talking about actual shooting of video footage. And today we are talking about how to shoot handheld without it looking terrible. And what I mean by shooting handheld is this. You don't have a tripod, you don't have a monopod, there's no Steadicam or shoulder rig stabilizer, it's just you and the camera. Unfortunately, this method of shooting video often leads to shaky, unusable video footage. But if you've been shooting church video for any length of time, you know that you need to shoot handheld for a variety of different scenarios. Whether it's filming at youth, shooting the worship team, or getting any type of video from any church event really, you likely won't have the luxury of having a big rig with you to cater to the video. So you're gonna have to shoot handheld. So with that being said, here are 5 tips for shooting handheld video that won't look terrible. Number 1, the strap. The strap is the most important element for shooting usable and steady handheld footage. If you're familiar with a shoulder rig at all, you know that the key to a shoulder rig are the points of contact, and that's what you get when you use a strap. With a shoulder rig, you have one on your shoulder and a couple in your hands, and by using the strap, you can gain a point of contact while shooting handheld even without an expensive rig. To use the strap properly, first tighten both sides as far as they will go. You don't want to have any let on either side. You want the strap to be as short as possible. Then put it around your neck and hold it up, but when you hold it up, you want to push it away from your body so that there's the tension in the strap, because that's going to be the point of contact that keeps it steady. So push it away from your body, keep the strap as short as possible, and you're gonna get some nice, steady footage. Number 2, locked arms. Remember, the key to good-looking handheld footage is to eliminate as much shake as possible. And so the second tip is all about your arm movements. Instead of having them flailing about wherever, it's important that you keep them tight to your body like this. Just like if you're shooting a basketball, you don't want your elbow out, you want your elbow in. So have both of them in, tight to your body. And when you're making camera movements, don't move your arms. Never move your arms. Move your feet, move your torso, but always keep your arms in this locked position. By doing this, you're simulating a shoulder rig in another way. Think of your arms as the grips on a shoulder rig. Now, the grips won't move when you're holding them. And think of your arms in the same way. When you're moving the camera, your arms cannot move. They're stationary. They're locked to your body. They're just part of the rig now. And that way, you have another point of contact to get some nice steady footage. Number 3, a wide angle lens. When you're shooting handheld video footage, always get out your widest angle lens. It may be heavier than your other lenses, but the wide scope will greatly make up for that. The reason using a wide angle lens is important is because the tighter that your shots are, the more noticeable the tiny little shakes and movements become. But if you're using a much wider angle lens that is covering a much broader scope of subjects, the little shakes that are on the edge of the frame will be a lot less notable and not nearly as distracting. Number 4, slow body movements. When you're physically moving your body when shooting handheld footage, imagine that you are in slow motion mode. You cannot get out of it. You are stuck there. Every step and every movement will take twice as long as normal. It will be very noticeable that you're shooting handheld footage if you're walking around a lot. But if you must take steps and move around while shooting handheld footage, make every step slow, light, and intentional. Number 5, an IS lens. Finally, if your lens and camera support image stabilization or IS, definitely switch that on. Image stabilization just adds that little bit extra smoothness and stability to your shots. Now, personally, I've only ever owned prime lenses, and so I don't have any lenses that have image stabilization. But if you have a combination of a camera and lens that offer that, definitely take advantage of it. And there you have it, 5 tips for shooting great handheld video footage. I can guarantee you that if you're shooting church video for any length of time, you're gonna come across this scenario where you don't have the option to have a rig and you're gonna have to shoot by yourself handheld. But if you use these tips, you're gonna make sure that you have better looking footage in the long run in a huge way. Just to give you an idea of how much better your shots will look, here is a comparison. This first shot is just a regular handheld shot. Notice the ugly shaking and jarring. Even if my subject matter is well lit and pretty, the shaking immediately undoes all of that. Now in this second shot, I'm using these 5 tips minus the image stabilization, and look how much better everything looks. I have several points of contact with my arms locked and the strap. All my movements are slow and intentional, and my wide angle lens doesn't exaggerate any of the shake. In fact, it's actually minimizing any of it. Well, there you have it for this lesson of the church video series. If you haven't seen the other ones, make sure you head over to prochurchtools.com, become a subscriber. You'll get the Pro Church Toolkit, which is awesome. Plus, you'll be able to watch all the other episodes for free, of course, so make sure you do that, and I will see you guys in next week's lesson.